I like your Hollywood idea. So you have them going down like the red carpet.
At first glance, you may think Simeon Toronto seems like any other teenager, into his friends, sports, and school.
El año 2030 es casi mañana.
But if you're lucky enough to spend a little time with this high school student,
I have the dream that this year each student will roll out of bed every morning with a smile on their face because they know that today they go to Andover, and that means something great to them.
or to hear him speak, it's easy to see why he stands out.
I dare to dream today because I know, and I promise you, that we are capable and ready to turn this vision into reality. I believe in you. Thank you for listening to me.
What it boils down to me is people are losing hope. They don't believe that the next 10 years are going to be as good as the last. And that's really sad to me. And I think something that's always I've had is hope or optimism. And I think that sets me apart just because a lot of people don't think they can do it. And I say, why not?
His positive personality is both remarkable and refreshing. It's earned him the recognition of his peers, his family, and his school.
This has been absolutely amazing for just our entire community as well as our school. Just very proud, and he has definitely represented us very well.
What's going on in my mind as an educator is that there's great hope for this country. When I experience students like a Simeon, it really makes me think, you know what, we're going to be okay.
Simeon is a senior at Andover High School, and unlike most teenagers, his true passion is politics.
My favorite thing to do growing up was to read. And I remember receiving for Christmas a book called The Children's Illustrated United States History. And I read about each president, their successes, maybe their downfalls, or what that was. And as I went through each president, their campaign, it just struck me that this is something I really enjoyed.
He is a young Minnesota man from a large family who has shown promise from an early age.
He is a people person.
And always has been.
Always has been a people person.
This last year, that love of people took him to places beyond his wildest dreams, thanks to a program that has been around for decades.
This summer could not have been made possible without the American Legion. And they're just a batch of heroes over there, and I'm so grateful for their service.
Simeon is one of 4 students from his high school selected by the American Legion to represent Minnesota at Boys State in Marshall. The program trains young boys the structure of city, county, and state governments. Simeon decided he had nothing to lose during his week away and ran for the highest position at Boys State, governor, and won. Then it was time for something called Boys Nation. Just 2 delegates from each state are selected for the week-long event in Washington, D.C. They are given private tours of some of D.C.'s most popular historic monuments, along with the Supreme Court, Congress, and State Department. But perhaps the biggest highlight came when they were able to spend a little time with the man who holds the highest office in the country.
Whatever you feel as far as politically about President Obama, it is just a thrill to meet the President of the United States. It's electrifying. He walked in the room, and for a kid that watched all the debates, watched all the TV shows of the past election and stayed up on it, he's right there in front of you.
The young men go to Boys Nation as senators, but it's up to them if they want to run for something more. Again, Simeon said, why not? This time he ran for president against 17 other kids. And again, he won.
I, Simeon Toronto,
do solemnly swear
that
I will faithfully execute
the
office of President of the American Legion Boys Nation.
The office of President of American Legion Boys Nation.
It was a very happy experience, I guess.
Simeon is a type of young man who, once he puts his mind to something, he's going to see it through.
The whirlwind continued during an all-expenses-paid trip to Houston to the American Legion National Conference.
It is my hope that compromise, civility, and integrity will return to the democratic process.
It was here where Simeon spoke at the opening gala, from the same pulpit where the vice president would speak a few hours later.
It was just an exhilarating, once-in-a-lifetime experience to see as a mother. Such a profound, exciting event.
Simeon will go on to serve on a mission trip for 2 years after high school, then college, and after?
What do you think about 2050? I mean, would that be a fair time for you to be running?
Well, I tell you what, the 3 days I served as Boys Nation took 3 years off of my life because it was that heated and that crazy, and that was only a 17-year-old simulation.
But just like any good politician, he isn't ruling anything out.
Do you think that you'll be hearing about Simeon years from now?
I sure hope so. And I do. I have a good indication that he's going to do very well for himself and make a name. So.
Well, my hope for Simeon is that he will continue to do what he's doing, that he will continue to see opportunities to do good in this world.
Life to the Max is brought to you by Life Touch, photography for a lifetime.